Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back in with another cryptocurrency video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum Classic, which is a cryptocurrency that is a little bit smaller in market cap, but still a very big name. So Ethereum Classic is actually at the 51st spot on coin market cap with a market cap of $1.17 billion, and it's right around $10 right now. So we're going to talk a lot about the bullish things that can happen in the future for Ethereum Classic, why I think it is actually a pretty good buying opportunity right now, and I will of course give a heads up that that is just my personal opinion, not financial advice. So whatever you do, understand that it is at your own risk, but I always keep you updated on when I spot opportunities in the cryptocurrency market and in the stock market, and Ethereum Classic is one of them. If you like videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like as well. Now, we're going to go through many different things, right? We're going to look at the in-depth chart, going to look at also some fundamentals behind why Ethereum Classic is so interesting. But right off the bat here, like I said, we're around $10. If we look at the historical price, we really put in a nice baseline around $4 to $5, and we're just now starting to creep back up above $10. Now, once we get going here above $10, which is already happening, really the next big price target is already $15, and I think that we have every opportunity to reach the all-time high, which was around $41 to $43, and I think we can make new highs to push $50 plus as well. And I think that could even be done in the next year. Also, I'll talk a little bit about why I think that's going to happen, and also even the next 3 to 5 years out, where I see Ethereum Classic going. Now, for those of you who are interested in purchasing Ethereum Classic, my recommended exchange is Binance. As you can see right here, it is the exchange with the most volume on it. It's the exchange that I use personally. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just my favorite cryptocurrency exchange. So if you want to purchase or invest or trade in Ethereum Classic, I recommend Binance, and I'll leave a link to Binance in the description of this video. With that being said, we're going to look into some analytics on the actual blockchain itself. A lot of interesting statistics. So first off, we've got holders composition by time held. You can see that 90% of holders of Ethereum Classic have actually held for over 1 year, right? And 47% of people are actually not at a profit right now, yet they're still holding for 1 year plus, right? The majority of people. So that's very interesting. And we also do have a fairly large concentration by large holders, not something to worry about in this scenario. And the statistics are pretty flat. So based on this, you might not be too interested, but you need to dig a little bit deeper, because by all means, Ethereum Classic is a little bit of a high risk, high reward play, and it has a little bit of a dark horse aspect where, people might be overlooking it and not really realizing the potential it has, and it's still very low market cap, considering to historically, it's actually have a 35 times ratio compared to Ethereum, right? And Ethereum is around, $1,500. So that puts the price of Ethereum Classic should be around somewhere near $50. That's also what a lot of miners expect, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Also, Ethereum Classic does have a fixed supply. Right now, the max supply is 116 million. The total max supply that will ever be is 210 million and some. So fixed supply is very key right now. We have a lot of coins that are moving into proof of stake who don't have fixed supplies, and good tokenomics never fail. Fixed supply is one of them that I think is key, right? Especially now that we're going to start to see more inflation in traditional fiat currency. People will really be looking towards these cryptos that have fixed supplies and that are more against inflation. So that is a very big selling point for Ethereum Classic. Now, another thing that we're going to talk about is the fact that it is one of the cryptos that's on Robinhood. It's actually one of the cheaper and smaller market cap cryptocurrencies on Robinhood, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that could mean in just a second. With that being said, if you look at the Ethereum Classic website, I just wanted to point that out, just to point out the obvious here, but it's very professional, and that might seem like a little bit of a random statement, but you need to keep this in mind that a lot of people don't have trust in Ethereum Classic. If you take a look into the story, and I'm not saying that Ethereum is going to completely fail or anything like that, but I do see at the very least a trade opportunity for Ethereum Classic. And it is the original Ethereum chain. It focuses on the idea that code is law, right? It's fully never been changed, unlike the Ethereum chain. Ethereum Classic is completely immutable, right? Untampered ledger since the 2015 Ethereum Classic Genesis block. And I'm not going to get into the whole idea of is Ethereum Classic going to fully take over Ethereum or whatnot. I don't want to get into that whole debate because by all means right now that seems somewhat unlikely based on how much Ethereum has advanced, how much backing it has. But you do have to keep in mind, right, that it's like if Bitcoin Cash became the official Bitcoin, a lot of people would realize the value in the true Bitcoin. And of course, for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, the fork, hasn't really thrived like Ethereum did. The original chain Bitcoin was the one that succeeded. For Ethereum Classic, it wasn't the same story. Ethereum, the fork, actually took the lead. The original chain has not had the same success, but I think it has every chance of succeeding at least a certain amount in the future. So very professional website. Keep in mind that they are worked on by LHK. Charles Hoskinson is the founder of Ethereum Classic, and you have to also remember that one of the big things with that is the success of Cardano. If you trust Charles Hoskinson at all, which I personally do, I think he's a key figure in the cryptocurrency space. He's helping out with Ethereum Classic still. IOHK is still helping out with Ethereum Classic, and he has pointed to some integration between Ethereum Classic and Cardano. So that could also be very key for Ethereum Classic there. There's also something called the ETC Cooperative, which is pretty interesting. I won't get into too much detail on that, but basically there are some pretty interesting figures that are working on Ethereum Classic success, and that's I'll leave it at that for now. Let's get into some of the details as far as the fundamentals are concerned for Ethereum Classic. This is a bit of a analysis mapped out by Etherplan, so all credit goes to them for the information in this post, but I'm just going to go over this really quickly because I think it has some very interesting points. They expect a $7,000 price target in the next 10 years. Now, I will say that that seems like a very big price target. That's an absolute best case scenario. But the thing that I wanted to point out with that is the ideas pointed out in this post stand pretty interesting nonetheless. So first off, one of the things that they mentioned is few systems will win the blockchain format war. They claim that only 3 to 4 blockchains will actually exist at the base layer, and they're going to have some pretty high market shares of 50%, 25%, 12.5%, and 6.25%. We're going to talk a little bit about that idea, but basically that the more original classic Bitcoins are more likely to succeed in the few that are actually ever going to succeed at a major scale, and they think that Ethereum Classic can be one of them. So also, Nakamoto consensus is the most secure consensus mechanism. Here the claim is that the proof of work consensus mechanism is actually the safest, much more safe than proof of stake. Once again, there might be some arguments about that, but proof of work has been around longer, and it's fully been proven. We've seen it with Bitcoin. It functions how it's supposed to function, and that is also something that's very key, especially considering the fact that Ethereum will move to proof of stake. Now, that's something that's huge for Ethereum Classic, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Kind of brings us to our next point, which is Ethereum Classic will be the only top proof of work smart contracts blockchain. And as you can see here in this little picture that they made, in terms of not programmable proof of work coins, we've got things like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, things like that. And you can see the total market cap for those. As far as not programmable and proof of stake, we've got Dash. As far as programmable smart contracts on blockchains, we've got Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, XTZ that are proof of stake and programmable. Of course, Ethereum is still proof of work right now, but like I said, they are moving towards proof of stake. You can see the market cap for these right here. And the biggest thing is that after Ethereum moves to Ethereum 2.0, right, and becomes proof of stake, Ethereum Classic will be the only cryptocurrency that has programmable smart contracts on the blockchain and is proof of work. So it puts it in a very specific niche with those things, right? So they pointed out here, programmable smart contracts, proof of work, and fixed monetary supply. Of course, we could see some competitors that would end up doing that, but a lot of those coins, as you can see, are moving towards proof of stake. Ethereum Classic will not change to proof of stake, which makes it, a very unique position here in the future, especially once Ethereum moves to proof of stake. Now, also, another thing that I'll point out right now with that is there is a lot of talk that once Ethereum does go to proof of stake, Ethereum Classic will be the main choice for miners to move to because they won't be able to mine Ethereum anymore, so they are more likely to go to Ethereum Classic, and that could be very good for the network. Hash rate does tend to have a correlation with price, so that is very, very big for when that happens for Ethereum Classic, which, Ethereum moving to proof of stake is not that far out at this point. Now, Ethereum Classic has actually been victim of some 51% attacks, but none of them have actually been full-on hacks. So the network is much more secure now after those hacks. It has a cap supply, which is what I mentioned. Here they talk just a little bit about how Bitcoin will be, the main cryptocurrency, basically, and that Ethereum Classic will be the second with a 25% market share. Once again, that is a little bit of a big prediction, so I won't get too much into that, but the idea is that it will actually succeed as one of the bigger cryptocurrencies because it is, a very authentic, old school blockchain, just like Bitcoin, right? It is the original Ethereum chain. You have to keep that in mind. And they say that the base layers are going to be very valuable, right? And they estimate somewhere between 3 trillion for BTC in the next 10 years. So that would put the BTC price at 143,000, and they say Ethereum Classic could achieve half of that, meaning 7,100 per ETC. Once again, I don't necessarily agree with that price target just because that is an absolutely best case scenario, meaning that Ethereum Classic would fully take on Ethereum and many other programmable smart contracts blockchains entirely, right? Which is somewhat unlikely right now. Some might say even very unlikely, but Ethereum Classic does have enough fundamentally to keep it sound, and we might also see some institutional interest, which is also something that I'm going to talk about. Now we can move back to the Robinhood here, but just wanted to touch up on what I was saying about the institutions. Grayscale's third largest trust in terms of individual cryptocurrencies is actually Ethereum Classic. They hold 100 million plus of it, and I think they might start accumulating more as some smart investors, maybe even some institutions, see it as a very interesting buy, considering that it is, in that unique positioning that I talked about. It has the history, so it is, quite trusted, and that is a very big selling point for Ethereum Classic. That could really skyrocket the price amongst many other things. One of them being the fact that it's on Robinhood, right? I think Ethereum Classic could be targeted for a pump, and that could be something that you could potentially benefit from, anyone who holds Ethereum Classic. Once again, not financial advice to buy Ethereum Classic or not, but just my personal opinion that I think it could be targeted by a pump. And right now it's still very low in terms of price, right? We've seen it climb right above $10. Still a very good price point compared to that all-time high around $43. If we look at this chart, we are now going to move over to the more in-depth long-term chart. And I'm going to point out a couple things right off the bat here that you're going to see are very bullish. So first off, we have the fact that we put in a massive baseline support right around $4. Do not really see Ethereum Classic ever going below that ever again, to be quite honest with you. And we also have a pretty massive amount of support now right above $8, because that's where our previous resistance was. That's now going to turn into major support. So also a lot of levels that are becoming support now for Ethereum Classic, not that much resistance ahead, right? If we actually map out those resistance levels, we do have a bit of resistance at $12, but more importantly, right, it's going to be that $15 mark is one of the big price targets here. And now that we move back above $10, we've got a little bit of resistance around $25. And after that, right, we're pretty much back to all-time highs around $50. We'll have a little bit around $30, but really after that, it's a very big gap between the next big bit of resistance, which is around that $43 level. And really, if we reach that level again, I think that we are going to make new all-time highs at $50 plus. So, for 2021 specifically, I think that Ethereum Classic will actually, on the lower end price target, at least reach $30. And as far as, the more medium level / higher price target, but I think is absolutely achievable and even somewhat likely, in my opinion, especially if we see a pump for Ethereum Classic. Because it could be targeted by one of those Robinhood crypto pumps, just like Dogecoin. I think it could reach, $40, $50 absolutely in 2021. And all of that is not even considering huge amounts of news, like if it can start competing more with Ethereum, gain back some market share, many other things that could really kick it back into high gear. Ethereum Classic can absolutely go above $50 and even push $100, plus dollars, $200 eventually. So the opportunity is very big for Ethereum Classic if it starts to make some major moves. But already now, at a fundamental level, with its fixed monetary supply and its history, it does hold value, and I think people will see that. Even institutions will see that, and they will invest in Ethereum Classic to at least have some market exposure to it. I'm also going to draw out here the U-shaped formation, right? This is actually a very good sign. We have a cup and handle formation that's starting to form, and I believe that is also going to be one of the main things to carry us back to the previous all-time highs. Now, once again, if you're interested in purchasing Ethereum Classic, make sure to check out Binance. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. My favorite exchange, not sponsored by them. It's just the exchange that I truly think is best for crypto investing and trading. Also, make sure to check out my technical analysis master course if you're interested in learning technical analysis for trading. Great reviews, less than $20. Link in the description, and even a 30-day money-back guarantee on that. And also, make sure to check out my Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe and have a great day.